Alright, welcome back. Chapter 4, page 3, last page. Only 3 pages this chapter, so it's a little bit less than last chapter, so hopefully you're happy about that. Anyway, let's review real quick. So on chapter 2, on page 2, you guys talked about the posting all your general ledger, or general amount columns, your general debit and general credit, to your general ledger accounts. Now, one thing about the general amount columns is every line is posted individually. So Fountain Capital, you had to post the 15,000 capital. Drop down to the next line, you had to post the expense. Okay, on sales, you do not post anything, you skip it. Then you went to drawing and you posted that line individually. So every line is posted individually unless it's a sales line. And you went back and you put what account number in the post reference that you posted to which general ledger you had posted to on the journal. You went back on this column right here and verified that you had completed that line. Alright, and then once you were done with everything, you put these 2 check marks underneath. So that's what should have happened, and yours should look like this when you're all said and done for your general amount column. So once again, at the bottom of page 2, your page should look like this, except for it doesn't have the sales and the cash over here. Alright, so here we have it. Alright, here was the page 2. Okay, you've hopefully completed that. Here we are on page 3 now. So we posted the general amount columns. Now we need the special amount columns, which special amount columns are your sales credit, cash debit, and cash credit. Now I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, these are a lot easier, okay? A lot less work for you when you post the special amount columns. But before we even get started here, just like before, you need the steps for each of these, okay? Steps to posting the total sales credit column, and then both the cash debit and credit. Now they're both in your packet, okay? So the first one, sales credit column. Here we are, sales credit. You go down. Here's your 5 steps. They're found on page 101. Okay. The next one, okay, cash debit column. The steps for doing that. Here they are. They're found on page 102. All 5 steps. Okay, and then last one, cash credit column. 5 steps. Here they are. So you need to go find in your packet, open it up. You need all 3 of those. And you need to write them in here, 1 through 5, okay? Those have to be in your notes. Obviously, when this is all done, there will be questions from these notes, so I guarantee you there'll be some of those. Alright, so we scroll down to the bottom here. Now here is the completed portion. You said, like I said before, you did these general debit and general credit columns. You posted everything. You put your check marks down here at the bottom. Now we're working on the sales credit, and then cash debit and cash credit also. Alright, so let's take a look at what you do. So these are all posted. First of all, the general amount columns, like we said, are posted individually, each line. Now the sales and the cash, like I said, way easier. You only post the totals at the bottom. That's it. That's all you have to do. So let's look here. I have a little example of how it should work. So here's our special amount columns, and the first one we're going to do is the sales credit. So we're going to find our general ledger that we've already set up that has sales in it. This is on page 1 of your notes. So this information, this is my example, okay, but this information is going to be transferred back to your general ledgers on page 1. And then you're going to come back to the journal on page 3 and write everything in that needs to go there as well. Okay, so we found our sales general ledger. Okay, first step, you take the date, just like before, transfer it up, August 31st. Second step, that page number goes in the post reference for the general ledger. Alright. Next step, you take the total, the bottom number, the total number, and this is the sales credit, and you just transfer that number into the credit column for the sales general ledger. Okay. And then just like before also, you only have 1 transaction in sales, so you transfer it over to show the balance that's in sales. Since there's only 1 transaction, it's the same balance. Pretty easy. Alright, but you're not done yet. So you need to show that you have completed the sales. Everything's been logged in your general ledgers. So you take that account number 410 and right underneath the total in parentheses, make sure it's in parentheses, you do the 410. Okay, the account number that you've logged all your information on. Okay, pretty simple. That's it. You're done with sales. Alright, so once again, it's just the totals. So the special amount columns is just the totals. The general amount columns are posted individually by line. Alright, but we're not done. Cash is very easy, but a little bit more work. Alright, because there's two columns, so you have to post both of them. Alright, so here we have it. We find our cash general ledger on page 1 of our notes. And we take the date and we put it up here. Next, just like before, post reference is the page number. Alright, and we're going to do our cash debit. That's what we're doing first. Our cash debit. So you're going to take that total, the total number at the bottom, and you transfer it into the debit column. Pretty easy stuff. And then your balance, it's only got one transaction, so your balance transfers over to the balance debit. And that's the total amount of money we have right now in our cash. Alright, and take that account number from cash, which is 110, transfer it down here. It shows that we've completed that column. Alright, we have one column left. So we're going to use the same general ledger. Okay, it's still cash. So we're going to transfer the date. We're going to do a second entry and transfer the date up. Same post reference. Now here's the thing though, this is a cash credit. Okay, the first one was debit, this is credit. So we're going to take that total amount and transfer it up. Now here's the thing, we have to do our balance now. Okay, there's two transactions. So we either have to add them together if they're both debit, or if they're both credit, you add them together. If they're opposites, one's debit, one's credit like we have here, then you have to subtract. So you're going to take the larger number and subtract the smaller number from that. Okay, and since the larger number is debit here, it will continue to be a debit amount. Alright, so we subtract that 1,100, and our new balance in our cash general ledger is now 20,450 because we subtracted that 1,100 from the 21,550 to give us our new balance in cash. And then last thing, take that account number, put it at the bottom there, good to go. Okay, so we have our general debit and credit completed with our check marks. We have our sales credit completed with the 410 in parentheses. And we have our cash columns, debit and credit, completed with 110 underneath the totals as well in parentheses. And then all our post references on our journal have been logged. So you're good. That's it. All done. Congratulations. You have finished your Chapter 3 notes.